Hello and welcome back to Everything Boats with Captain Frank Lanier, where we discuss boats and boating, from maintenance and repairs to seamanship and safety, as well as everything in between. This podcast is a companion to my YouTube channel of the same name, so if you like and find it useful, be sure to subscribe and please check out my YouTube channel as well, where you'll find hundreds of informative videos on pretty much every boating topic imaginable. Today's topic, assembling a ditch bag. Packing for the journey you hope to never take. Ditch bags are essentially the waterborne equivalent of a hiker's can of grizzly bear pepper spray. Both are purchased in hopes they'll never be needed. Most responsible boaters agree that having some type of abandoned ship bag packed and ready to grab when the feces hits the rotary oscillator is a smart move. Asking what items it should contain, however, is a topic of more lively debate. Let's take a look at some ditch bag basics and how to determine just what needs to be in there. As there's no one-size-fits-all approach when it comes to ditch bags, any list of items should be viewed as a starting point, one that should be built upon and customized to better meet your particular circumstances. A sailor forced to abandon ship while crossing the Pacific will obviously face different challenges than a coastal fisherman in similar circumstances, although both still share a common goal, to be rescued. In this article, we'll discuss just what items a boater should consider when assembling an effective ditch bag. Choosing a ditch bag. Two common constraints most boaters run into when assembling a ditch bag are space, a premium commodity aboard many small boats, and cost. In other words, how much money you can afford or you want to spend on its contents. While a blue water sailor must plan and provision against the possibility of surviving on their own for days or even weeks, the focus of a coastal boater should be rapid location and rescue. This strategy eliminates the need for extended survival items, bulk rations for example, allowing you to streamline your ditch bag requirements. Although there are a number of ready-made bags available commercially, there's really no one definitive standard when it comes to ditch bags. In fact, they don't even have to be a bag. One fisherman I know uses a bright orange 5-gallon bucket purchased from a local hardware store. It's always easily accessible because he uses it as an extra cockpit seat. It's highly visible and watertight with the lid in place. He even secured a couple of those styrofoam pool noodles around it for additional buoyancy. Dry bags are another popular choice for ditch bags, as are waterproof hard cases such as those offered by Pelican. While there's no industry standard per se, there are some basic requirements every ditch bag should meet. They should be robustly constructed, brightly colored to aid in visual location, light enough when packed that even the smallest member of the crew can maneuver it overboard easily, and, most importantly, have the ability to float with all required survival gear inside, something that should always be tested and verified prior to placing it on board. Many commercially available ditch bags tout a considerable amount of inherent buoyancy, typically due to the use of internal closed-cell foam during construction. However, such claims should be viewed with caution. Unless completely waterproof, many are simply water-resistant, water entering the bag could allow even a modest amount of gear to easily overwhelm this inherent flotation, causing it to sink. One possible solution for this is to stuff additional foam flotation inside the bag where possible. Another would be to store ditch bag contents within smaller air-filled waterproof bags. Non-waterproof equipment should be protected this way in any case. A third option is using a large waterproof dry bag as your ditch bag. Dry bags have the added benefit of keeping their contents dry while providing plenty of buoyancy when closed. However, most have no inherent flotation. The downside here is that if open while in the water, they can easily flood and sink. Other features to look for in a ditch bag include integral equipment lanyards or attachment points, lots of internal pockets, pouches, and organizers. You can never have too many storage pouches in there, with the ability to securely close each via zippers or hook and loop fasteners. All zippers should be equipped with large pull tabs or lanyards to make it easier for numb or gloved hands to open them. The following list is what I would consider to be essential ditch bag gear when boating along near shore or coastal regions. Bear in mind that it's not inclusive for all situations and that it should also be in addition to your normal complement of personal safety equipment. Life jacket equipped with a whistle, personal strobe, suitable knife, and the like. Item number 1, a 406 EPIRB or personal locator beacon, PLB. preferably with built-in GPS. This is the big one, the single most important piece of gear that you can place in your ditch bag. With PLB's personal locator beacons available for less than $300, there's really no excuse for any boater heading out any appreciable distance from shore not to have one. Item number 2, a good waterproof or submersible handheld VHF, preferably one that floats. A handheld VHF allows you to communicate or do periodic broadcasts to vessels and aircraft searching for you. The best ones will feature GPS and also DSC capability. Item number 3, a waterproof handheld GPS. It lets you provide position if you do raise somebody on that handheld VHF. This, of course, can be skipped if your EPIRB or PLB or VHF handheld can provide you with GPS positioning information. Number 4, flares. Like winning lottery numbers, you just can't have too many of them when you need them. At a minimum, I'd recommend 6 aerial type flares, 3 orange smoke flares, and 6 red handheld day-night flares. You can also store the flares required for your boat in your ditch bag as well. SOLAS, or Safety of Life at Sea, flares are approved by the International Maritime Organization for use on the high seas, and although they're more expensive, they typically exceed Coast Guard standards for luminosity and burn time. They cost more, but they last longer and they're worth it. Number 5, a signal mirror, probably one of the best all-around distress signaling devices you can carry. Compact and simple to operate, signal mirrors have proven their worth in numerous rescues. In normal sunlight, a flash from a good signal mirror can be seen up to 50 miles away, depending on atmospheric conditions. The record distance at sea is 105 miles. They even work on bright overcast days and moonlit nights to an extent. Item number 6, a waterproof flashlight. You should have one per crew member. Small dive flashlights are even better. They provide short-range illumination and attention-getting capabilities. Item number 7, chemical light sticks, 3 plus an additional one for each member of the crew. Safety whistle, the louder the better. The storm whistle is the loudest whistle on the market, and it can even be blown underwater. Item number 9, a dive knife with a serrated, not a sawtoothed, edge and a relatively short blade. Item number 10, 30 foot of 1/4 inch polypropylene floating rope, plus a 10-foot section for each crew member. These are handy to tether everybody together with and to your boat if possible. Many smaller vessels will continue to float even when overturned, and it's a lot easier to spot than someone in the water. Number 11, energy bars or similar food stuff. This is entering into more of the survival area than rescue, but what the heck. They don't take up that much space, and snacks can be a morale booster. Okay, finally we're going to close with some ditch bag tips. 1, store your ditch bag in a place where it's readily accessible at all times. 2, make sure everybody on board knows where the ditch bag is located. Number 3, keep the ditch bag small enough that it can be handled by even the smallest member of the crew. Number 4, fit all ditch bag equipment with a lanyard to prevent accidental loss. Number 5, buy a waterproof case for your cell phone and store it inside your ditch bag while you're underway. Number 6, inventory all equipment and keep track of any expiration dates, batteries for example. Number 7, register your EPIRB or PLB unit with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, per federal law. What you're doing here is providing search and rescue organizations emergency contact information so that if your unit is activated, they'll know who they're looking for and can confirm that it's an actual emergency rather than a false alarm. Don't forget to update your registration if any of the information changes. And finally, tip number 8, know how to operate all ditch bag equipment and test it regularly.